वेरी गुड इवनिंग वन एंड ऑल. इसको नीचे करना रे, नीचे रखना. My topic of deliberation today is low cost IVF. Subfertility has been looked down as a global health issue despite affecting 1 in 7 couple. And when it comes to India, 27.5 million couples in India, they suffer from subfertility. Since the first test tube baby was born in the year 1978, IVF treatment has been developed and improved to benefit the millions of people who experience childlessness. It is estimated that number of IVF infants in the world has now surpassed 5 million. However, there are still many people who are unable to gain access to this form of treatment. Reasons are many, but mainly it is the financial constraint. Many developed countries, they have a system in place whereby either the government bears the full cost of the treatment or at least they reimburse the partial cost. But in India, ART is self-financed. Cost is a major deterrent to the couples who seek infertility treatment, and this is highlighted by the fact that almost 3/4 of the Indian couples, they decline IVF treatment after first consultation. Even in the developed world, individual couples, they find it difficult to access ART facilities if they have to bear the full cost. India being a developing country, we have our own unique problems because in India, the health policy makers in developing countries, they are confronted by major health problems such as high maternal mortality, malnutrition and infectious diseases, and hence they find it difficult to give ART the attention it deserves. A high population growth rate is often used as an argument to disregard the problems of infertility as they have to focus on family planning programs. The focus of ART in developing countries is mainly on prevention and provision of basic infertility services. Although expensive, one cannot deny the fact that advanced technology is required in many clinical situations and is also perhaps the most successful form of treatment. While a great deal has been written about the need for providing affordable ART care in developing countries, this has not been translated into actual needs. And it should be, because in the developing world, marriage is almost universal and it often occurs at an early age with the ultimate goal of having a child. Couples bearing the burden of infertility are subjected to social stigma, community isolation and harassment from family members to the extent of even being excluded from inheritance rights. Without an established social security system, infertile couples are economically vulnerable in their old age. In certain cultures, children play an important role in the rituals related to their parents' death. The awareness that they would be deprived of this privilege adds to the infertile couple sorrows and unease. And here the women are at the receiving end. Almost always they tend to be blamed for the situation and they live in fear of physical abuse, divorce or embarrassment of the husband, opting for a second marriage or indulging in an extramarital affair. Psychological distress is also significantly more common, especially in women who are subjected to physical trauma in comparison to their fertile counterparts. Men, they also face the stigma, even though the women... ए भाई बंद हो गया. Slide show कर. Although the women bear the brunt of the social stigma, men are not unaffected and they also live in the fear of being labeled sexually impotent, often resulting in a reluctance to come forward for the investigations or treatment. Subjected to scorn and ridicule, men often divert their anger and frustration onto the spouse. The need to hide their inadequacy often makes adoption an unacceptable choice for this couple. As infertility is not a life-threatening issue, the policy makers, they tend to push it down in the priority list. However, a couple's reproductive autonomy needs to be respected, and in terms of quality of life, infertility needs to be considered a public health problem of high priority, and provision of affordable medical facilities is essential. In some societies, inability to fulfill the dreams of having children, together with social stigma associated with infertility, makes life unbearable for this infertile couple. WHO in 2001, when they had a special meeting entitled Medical, Ethical and Social Aspects of Assisted Reproduction, they recommended that infertility should be recognized as a public health issue worldwide, including in developing countries. Policymakers and health staff should give attention to infertility and the needs of infertile patients. Infertility management should be integrated into national reproductive health education program and services, and assisted reproduction treatment should be complementary to other ethically acceptable social and cultural solutions to infertility. So all this being said and done, how we can actually reduce the cost of IVF treatment, because as per WHO, it should be a part and parcel of the treatment offered by the policymakers. There are 4 simple strategies to simplify the investigation method, to reduce the cost of ovarian stimulation, simplify the procedure in the laboratory, and minimize the complications of IVF. Whenever a patient comes to you, avoid doing expensive investigations, avoid doing duplicate and unnecessary investigations. Already your colleagues have done the investigations, we should not repeat it. And the reliability of manual semen analysis is as good as CASA, so we should not force them to undergo the expensive test. When it comes to ultrasound scan, our 2-dimensional ultrasound scan is good enough. We need not have a 3D ultrasound images. Hysteroscopy becomes mandatory in many of the cases, but since we can do many cases as outpatient cases as office hysteroscopy, again we can see the cost in doing the hysteroscopy. The major burden of investigation is on the ovarian reserve test. Here we, instead of doing AMH and AFC, you can rely on the age, and if you are doing your own antral follicular count, then you can avoid doing the AMH. Ovarian stimulation is the major cost factor for the patients. So the natural cycle IVF and mild stimulation protocol has come into vogue. In natural cycle, there is no stimulation given at all. SCG is given when the follicle reaches the mature size. OPU is done under conscious sedation, and here altogether the drugs are avoided. But it has its major disadvantage because of the premature LS surge, and majority of the cycle gets cancelled. To avoid the side effect of premature LS surge, mild ovarian stimulation protocol came into vogue, where short stimulation protocol is given for 2 to 6 days during the mid to late stimulation phase, and it is combined with GnRH antagonist. Rest all the things are same as per natural cycle IVF. Clomiphene in IVF was used right from the beginning, but in between it was abandoned. But now many centers are using it as a part of mild stimulation protocol. This avoids the cost of gonadotropin injections in the IVF cycle. This is the CC stimulation protocol, where 50 mg CC is given from day 2 of the cycle, and it is continued till SCG trigger. HMG, that is urinary gonadotropin, 150 IU intramuscular, started from day 5, given on alternate days. Follicular monitoring started from day 8. When the follicle reaches 18 mm, trigger is given, and OPU is done under conscious sedation. Letrozole has also been added in the mild stimulation protocol. It is used exactly instead of clomiphene cycle, as you can use the letrozole. What methods you can simplify in your IVF lab? Over the years, everybody is in competition of adding the sophisticated equipments in their IVF lab. We have IMSI, PGS, PGD, embryoscope, laser hatching, and whenever we are adding these expensive gadgets, the cost to the couple naturally increases. But it has not been documented clearly in any of the papers that these gadgets increases the success rate of your IVF cycle. This is the breakthrough which I came through when I was going through the literature search, that this Belgian group, they came out with the closed culture system, and this has significantly reduced the cost of IVF. Many companies are promoting this InvoCell, whereas you can avoid the need of IVF lab altogether. You keep the gametes in the vagina and for fertilization, and you can save the cost considerably. Whenever you are considering the low cost IVF, the lab air quality, which is a very vital invisible factor for IVF setup, should not be compromised at any stage. But nevertheless, you have to undertake certain measures to reduce the cost, like careful use of disposables, no review on day 2, and early transfer of embryos on day 3. All the IVF centers are focusing on the success rate only, but nobody focuses on the complication rates, and 2 major complications for IVF is ovarian hyperstimulation and multiple pregnancy, and the answer to this is elective single embryo transfer. Mild versus conventional, again, mild, if you are using it, definitely saves the cost, but per cycle in mild stimulation there are lower pregnancy rates due to fewer number of embryos which you are going to retrieve. The number available for cryopreservation is very small, and when you are using natural cycle or mild ovarian stimulation cycle, this requires excellent laboratory performance, as the margin of error and subpar performance is lower. So you have to decide in your practice, whenever you are offering low cost IVF, you are using natural cycle IVF or mild stimulation, you have to properly counsel the couple accordingly. To summarize, the high cost involved in establishing and maintaining a good ART laboratory, there is a constant need to upgrade and adopt new technology, and use of stimulation protocols that use expensive drugs makes ART treatment expensive. With most ART sectors in the private sector and with non-existent insurance cover, IVF as a treatment option becomes unaffordable for the majority. So therefore, the concept of affordable IRT was developed in an attempt to make these services available to the majority of the masses. But I said earlier, you have to clearly counsel them about the pros and cons and about the success rate. And the answer to this is a public-private partnership, where a government-sponsored insurance program has to come up. They have to have partnership with few selected private segment to reach out to all those unfortunate couples who cannot afford IVF cost on their own. Thank you so much for your patient hearing.